So as the ice broke already, chassid, there's something chassidus, and Rabbi Ginglas. So when he came home after the shir, and also we went to the kitchen. I made myself a cup of tea. He must have a cup of tea. We started to speak. So tell me a story about Baal Shem Tov, something about the Rebbe. Slowly, I became a Lubavitcher chossid.
Welcome to Homesick for Lubavitch, a podcast where we explore Lubavitch identity in the year 2024. My name is Ben Siafson, and I will be your host. Let's begin. All right, thank you very much, Rabbi Mangel. I'm sitting here with Rabbi Nissan Mangel.
Tell me it's okay.
Do you look good?
Mm-hmm.
You look fantastic.
You're good, yes.
They see you only from the side, though.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here with Rabbi Nissan Mangel in Crown Heights. Thank you very much for making the time and for accommodating the schedule with the Brooklyn Marathon. It took me a little bit while to get in. You were mentioning to me earlier that you remember me as a little boy in Hong Kong. Back in the day, you used to travel around to speak at different Chabad houses. Of course, I remember.
Practically all over the world.
All over the world.
There wasn't a place where it was Australia, Africa, Asia, China, all over.
Those days, that was less common to travel around the world like that, no?
Yes.
It was less common.
Yeah.
What drove you back then to travel around and speak like that? It must have been very difficult, all the traveling.
Since all the shluchim wanted to have, from time to time, a speaker,
Right.
speak on all kinds of topics. And they thought that I'm a capable speaker, I could be able to do it. And they asked me, just like your parents asked me to Hong Kong, they asked me 5 times to Australia, maybe all over to Europe, all over there. And then I spoke all kinds of topics. Yiddishkeit. First of all, if somebody leaves Yiddishkeit, how do you bring it back? Yeah. What the most successful method to bring it back? Topics, for example, also the Holocaust, what I went through. How did it come to Lubavitch? What made me? I don't come, in my childhood, I never heard the word Lubavitch.
Mamish.
I never. Although my stock is like from the chassidus, but more the Stropkov, Vishnitz, another Stropkov, and Diverheim, the sons. But Lubavitch, I never heard the word Lubavitch. What made me Lubavitch? It's a very interesting thing about Hashgacha Protis, or accidentally I came to Lubavitch.
Right.
Yes. For example.
Right. So why don't we begin with the story? I know that you've recounted the story of your survival and how you survived the Holocaust many times, and that isn't the main point of this conversation. But for those who are not familiar with your story, what is the gist of your story? Of where did you grow up? What did you go through during the war, and how taka did you end up in Lubavitch?
Just let me tell you briefly.
Mm-hmm.
It's a child of 10 years old. My parents, my sister and I went to Auschwitz. Miraculously, Mengele, anybody wasn't a child, was a certain height, immediately this thumb determined the fate of 6 million Jews. He was sitting on a table, chain smoking, cross-legged, like this, and everybody had passed through, and this finger, when they flipped to the left side, gas chamber. Flipped to the right side, got to work.
Did you know that while you were walking up to the line? Did you know that?
We knew already, when we came to Auschwitz, we knew already. I remember my father, the cattle coach, we squeezed like sardines in a cattle coach, over 100 people. By the end, when they arrived in Auschwitz, 2 people were dead. Huh. We knew already what's going on. And I remember, eventually, I fell asleep. What woke me up? My father was saying vidui. My father knew by heart, said vidui, and he was crying, because this is the end. This is the end. So we came to Auschwitz. We came off from the cattle coaches, and Mengele wasn't there because a day before the American Air Force bombed Auschwitz. So he escaped. Eventually came. So we lined up. We lined up 5 in a row. Everybody, they didn't tell us we're going to a death camp. They told us we're going to a labor camp.
Right.
So everybody had valises with all kinds of pillows and quilts and all kinds of underwear and shirts. So we had all this, the valises. We lined up for Mangel should come. It was one of the Besonderskommando, a special unit of Jewish inmates who had a triple function. One function is take away the valises. Right. The second one, those who were sent to the gas chamber, push them into the gas chamber. That's number 2.
Right. Number
3, from the gas chamber, the dead corpse, put them in the crematorium to be burned them.
Right.
So I was standing, I was the first one, holding the hand of my mother in the line, the first in the line, holding the hand of my mother.
How old were you?
10 years old.
10 years old.
Came, and afterwards my father, and afterwards my sister, and another 2 people. The person from Besonderskommando came to take away our valises, saw me, a little boy, says to my mother, give away the child, save yourself. Because Mengele not only took the child, but the mother of the child also. Says, what do you gain? By both will be killed. Give away the child to elderly person will be killed anyways in the gas chamber, and save yourself. As he said this to my mother, and I was holding my mother's hand, I felt how my mother was clutching my hand tightly, like intimating, marames, my child, I won't give you away. I won't give you away. And of course, he had to go away because he had to take all the valises. Maybe 5 minutes later, because hundreds, thousands of people came from Slovakia, came back, he says, Man Hashem, give away your child. Why should you commit suicide? Why is that? And Rebbe Zion, I felt my mother's hand clutching even stronger. Huh. Then he says the following story to my mother.
This commando.
This is Besonderskommando, special unit.
Special unit.
Yes.
So you think his intentions were good?
What?
His intentions were good. His intentions were
yes,
good.
Yes. He wanted to save my mother.
Right.
And he says, he wanted me to mother, you can have the same fate. He says, yesterday, for the same thing, a mother had a little baby, and of course, passed Mengele the selection, yes, went on the left side, the gas chamber. Then they took the mothers in the gas chamber. They would not even let the mothers to hold the child, but separated the children, also the children. On the one side in the gas chamber, the mother wouldn't give away the child. But he wanted to hold the child. They go together to the gas chamber, die together, holding, embracing the child.
So he told you this story.
He said to my mother,
this story.
You don't want to have the same fate.
And you understood all of this.
I heard it. So he said to my mother, give away your child. You don't want to have the same fate as a mother just yesterday. In 1944, more Jews were killed than from 1939 to 44.
Right.
But anyways, he says this mother was sent to the left side to the gas chamber.
Right.
She was holding the baby tight. And the SS says, give me the child. I'll throw the child in and she wouldn't give it. Right. So what did the SS do? Grabbed away the child from the mother and wrapped the child. The 2 fiselach, the 2 legs sticking out. Took a rope and tied one leg to one truck, which brought the children, people to the gas chamber. Another one to another truck. and said to the driver, "It's going opposite direction." In front of the mother, the child was torn into two pieces. Can you imagine what was going on in Auschwitz? So he said to my mother, "If you don't want to have the same fate, give away the child." Ben Zion, my mother didn't give away the child. And Baruch Hashem, my mother survived and I survived. But anyways, this is in Auschwitz. I don't want to, you see, I should not speak up there. Eventually.
But let's back up. Let's back up a moment. Where did you come from? Where did you grow up? Which?
I grew up in Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
In 1938, Hitler wanted Hungary should join in the war effort with Hitler, with Germany.
Right.
So he gave away a part of Czechoslovakia to Hungary.
Right.
Hungary annexed a certain part of Czechoslovakia.
Sudetenland, they called it, right?
What?
This is a Sudetenland?
This is different. This became to Germany, and became Hungary.
Uh-huh.
So in Slovakia, a certain section of Hungary he gave for Slovakia, gave to Hungary.
Uh-huh.
And then it's called Kosha, then it's called Košice. Košice in Slovakia, Kosha. So we became Hungarians.
You were in the town of Kosha?
I was born in Czechoslovakia.
What was the town called?
What?
What was the town called?
Košice.
Košice.
It's Košice in Slovakia.
Košice.
No, it's also called Košice.
So what kind of town was it? What kind of...
It had 20,000 Jewish population of 20,000 Jews. The most religious city in whole Czechoslovakia. More than Bratislava, the capital, more than Prague, the most Jewish. Had yeshivas and had chedorim, had everything, Beis Yankovs, and had very, very Jewish. Yes.
And your mishpacha...
And in 1944, Germany, when Hungary was hesitant that maybe she should have saw that the Germany is losing the war.
Right.
She wanted to sever itself from Germany. So Germany occupied whole Hungary, including our city.
So until that point, you were allowed to live normal? There was no
Not
ghetto?
Not normal, it's anti-Semitism, but we lived.
No ghetto?
No ghetto. Only when Germans occupied Košice, then started to take the Jews into ghetto, from ghetto to Auschwitz.
And you remember all of this?
Of course I remember all this. Yeah. It's my engraved, etched in my heart, in my neshama. So anyways, so you want I should speak about the Holocaust?
No. I want to know.
Anyway, so let me tell you.
You said earlier that you didn't hear about Lubavitch.
I never heard of Lubavitch.
So which city?
After the war.
Right.
After the war, Košice became again Czechoslovakia, Slovakia.
Right.
Yes. Then the communists took over.
Right.
In 1945 to 1946, Czechoslovakia was an independent country.
So your family went back after the war?
Yeah, only my mother. My father didn't survive.
Didn't survive the camp.
Only my mother and my sister. Also miraculously, nissim. But in 1948, Czechoslovakia became communist.
Right.
So my mother was very much afraid, just in Russia. They want a Jewish chinuch. They want very kosher food. People have to work on Shabbos. So it was an opportunity that orphan children roaming around after the war, these countries could go to England. Mm-hmm. The chief rabbi from England came to Czechoslovakia and arranged with the government. You have all kinds of children. The parents didn't come back from Auschwitz. They were hidden by Goyim.
Right. And
they're roaming around. What do you need them for? Let me take them to England. So we got false papers that were also orphans, false papers, and we came to England. And there I joined a yeshiva, a misnagdish yeshiva.
Your mother came with, or she sent you
off? No. The only children.
Oh, she sent
my
you
mother
off.
had to remain in Czechoslovakia.
Right.
And I joined, I went into a yeshiva. How did I come to England? Only a student visa, a student.
Right.
So I had to join a yeshiva. It was no Lubavitch.
Right.
And
I didn't
hear of Lubavitch.
Was it Gateshead?
And I went, was a much better yeshiva, more private yeshiva, was Sunderland.
Sunderland, right?
Sunderland.
Near Leeds.
Gates was a big yeshiva like Bnei Brak.
Right.
And this is more Slovakia, yes, more private yeshiva. So I chose Sunderland.
Right.
And there I learned for 3 years.
That's in the north of England, yes?
What?
Sunderland's in the north of England.
Yes. Not far. 12 miles from Gateshead.
Right.
But more a private one.
Right, okay.
And there I learned for 3 years. The 3 years, they poisoned my mind. I didn't hear from Lubavitch, but I'm still for chassidus stock. Yes.
Your father wore shtreimel on Shabbos?
No, my Zeder was shtreimel, my father not, yes. But a chassidus person.
Right.
But anyways.
So your father was warm to chassiduskeit.
Yeah, of course. And my mother, my grandmother, my mother, all were from Stropkov, from Divrei Chaim, from Sons.
Right.
Sons Chassidim.
No, I'm just trying to understand why your grandfather wore shtreimel and not your father.
Let me tell you, why your father is a shliach and you do this. Everyone chooses their own way.
No, I'm not trying to judge your father. I'm trying to understand the culture of the time.
Yeah.
So
my father went more in business, but very frum,
right, okay.
And there they made, scoffed and mocked and ridiculed Lubavitch.
Already then?
In Sunderland, there's across the channel, there's a yeshiva in Bruna. They learn only Tanya. They don't learn anything else. And they don't, Amaratzim, so Mengele.
Why were they busy with Lubavitch? What did they care?
Amisnaget is Amisnaget. You cannot ask. So anyways, they told me there's a yeshiva, and they said they learn only Tanya, nothing else.
Okay.
So Mengele, I became a big opponent to chassidus. And in 1951, my mother, as I said before, my mother remained in Czechoslovakia.
Right.
And on the communist regime. We thought we were able to get out. My mother, they heard that Canada made an arrangement with Czechoslovakia that Canada is a huge country, larger than the United States. It had 80 million people. Right. So they wanted more immigration. So male people, the Jews from Czechoslovakia can come to Canada. But you have to have somebody in Canada for send an affidavit. So my sister and I decided to come to Montreal and get the green card, yes, and then be able to send an affidavit to my mother. She'll be able to come from Czechoslovakia under the communists. In the meantime, it took us a year to get the green card. So in the meantime, Czechoslovakia left the year to go to Eretz Israel. So my mother went to Israel. It wasn't necessary anymore. She should come to Canada. What should I do in Canada? I was a yeshiva bacher. I love to learn. What should I do? In Montreal was there only one yeshiva. Yeshiva Tomchat Mimim. Should I go to Tomchat Mimim? I was poisoned against chassidus.
Right.
So I came to Rabbi Kramer. He was the Menayel, director of the yeshiva. Right. Rabbi Greenglass, the mashpia.
Right.
I said, I'd like to come join the yeshiva, but on 3 conditions. One condition, don't force me to learn chassidus. Holtar Chemim is learn to chassidus. Don't force me to learn chassidus. Don't force me I should learn in the Beis Medrash with everybody else, because I was afraid they influence me, mashpia on me. And also, I don't want to live in a dormitory, a premier. Only just give me a private room. They should pay it. Can you imagine? Is it normal? Is it logical? 3 such conditions. Whole Tachat is made in von chassidus. Now I make a condition that should not. I don't want to learn chassidus. I don't want to learn job with the Bochrim, but the Beis Medrash. And I don't want to also stay in that part of the. I was sure they're going to refuse me. Mm-hmm. And 2 days later, Rabbi Kramer calls me up. This thing can come. You can join the yeshiva. I don't have a proof, but intuition. Libi Omarli. They must have the Rebbe.
Right.
Should I let such a bocher in the yeshiva? The Rebbe said, eventually. So anyways, they let me in the yeshiva.
This is already after your Shvat, yeah?
What?
This is already after Yud Shvat.
After the Rebbe came out, Rebbe, yeah, after Yud
Yeah,
Shvat.
yeah.
This was Yud Aleph,
Right,
51, Yud
right.
Aleph.
So right after, yeah.
And I went to the yeshiva. And they gave me a nice private room, a nice private also a room where I should stay, in basically to learn. And I didn't have no chassidus. One Friday night, extremely cold, hot, humid, hot. I didn't have money to buy a fan, let alone an air conditioner. So I decided, let me go there for a walk. It's very hot. So I walked from my apartment all the way down to downtown, where the yeshiva was in Park Avenue. And I see it could have been like 11 o'clock. And then I see the light is still on in the yeshiva. The janitor didn't close the light. It means that somebody's inside in the yeshiva. I go in, one person, Rabbi Moshe Elia Garlitsky. Rabbi Zion, a süßer Yid, a geschmacker Yid, a feiner Yid. He tells me, Nissan, come here, I want to show you. He was sitting learning Tanya. I did not, if anybody else would ask me, I would refuse. But him, such an edel, such a fine süßer Yid, I came. He says, listen, sit down. I want to show you what the Alter Rebbe says here. What did the Alter Rebbe say in the Tanya, the Shir Tanya? Ilu nitun reshus la'ayin lirois, nire gashus ha'chumis ha'im klal. Only a lekus. I learned a lot of Gemara in England. I learned a lot of Rambam. But the whole world is elikus was an eye-opener for me. I couldn't imagine everything's only elikus. So something, the ice broke. Understand? So Mengele, this opened my mind. Maybe there's something in chassidus, which I don't know. Then again, Ashkacha Pratis, a week later, Rabbi Mangel tells me, listen, why do you have to live so far? You go by bus to yeshiva every morning. It takes you half an hour. Go back, come to me. I give you a room, a private room, not in the premier, and stay by me. At the beginning, I refused, but eventually accepted. So, as the ice broke already, there's something chassidus, and Rabbi Mangel. So when he came home after the shir, and also we went to the kitchen. I made myself a cup of tea. He must have a cup of tea. We started to speak. So tell me a story about Baal Shem Tov, something about the Rebbe. Slowly, I became a Lubavitcher chossid.
This week's episode is brought to you by This World is a Garden, a new film and concert production by Yuvla Media. Based on the Rebbe's first talk, Bosi Lgani, the production tells the story of the Chabad vision lasting over 300 years, to see this world as God sees it, as His garden. Combining beautiful cinematography with a live performance of a string quartet, This World is a Garden is a meditation on hope and holding on to a vision as time passes by. This production is now available to be shown at your Chabad house and community. Share the message and vision of Bosi Lgani with your community in a way you never have before. For more information, please visit thisworldisagarden.com.
There's a Toshi Yud base. And then Rabbi says, go to the Rebbe.
Rabbi
Mangel. So I went to the Rebbe. Then it was a Toshi Yud base, was a small oilam. Not the big base of Spanish, but the small oilam. So I went into the Bench Althuis. He was then the Rebbe was sitting on top, and a shack, a small table. The table was not larger, 3/4 of this, where the Rebbe was sitting, not like that. And a shack, and we were standing here, outside, here, like here, and I was standing behind him. In the middle of the Verbrengen, the Rebbe says to Benchi and Zion Althuis, who is this Bacher? She says, this is Nissan Mangel. So the Rebbe, when he had Nissan Mangel, the Rebbe had a tray of marble cake, covered with a cover. They took off the cover. They took a big piece of marble cake, called me up and he gave it to me. Afterwards, so this is the first, the vitamins, the chassidus vitamin, the marble cake. And then...
Had you written a letter before to the Rebbe? Had you had any... Nothing?
No. Then, until then, I didn't write. No. I wrote later.
Right.
Until then, and then when I went to Yechidus, so the Rebbe spoke with me at length, and the Rebbe said all kinds of things which I should do, and the Rebbe says to me, tell me, how are you going back to Montreal? So I said to the Rebbe, I couldn't go by train, certainly by plane, by bus.
Right.
So I said to the Rebbe, I'm going to go by bus. The Rebbe said, by bus? So you can stop over Utica, Albany, Buffalo, and speak. I was a greener. How much I started just to learn chassidus, The Rebbe said, no. Immediately the Rebbe enlisted me. I should stop. But I come to this city, to these places. How we behave? So the Rebbe read my mind. The Rebbe said, don't worry. Tzach is going to arrange it. When you arrive for this papers for Albany, there was Brickman. Remember, Baruch, the Brickman was there. So he's going to come. So I stop here, speak how much I know chassidus, but I spoke something about Tanya, Yished Shama, and so. So this is the first Yechidus. Now let me tell you further.
Did you ask the Rebbe anything about the Holocaust? Was that any part?
The Rebbe, I never spoke with the Rebbe about the Holocaust. The Rebbe never asked me about the Holocaust. Only, again, Ruach HaKodesh, the week before the Chassidus, and the Rebbe knew I didn't have any money. My mother was in Yerushalayim. She couldn't take out, Baruch Hashem, we were well off in Slovakia, Czechoslovakia. But they didn't let out any money.
Right.
So my mother couldn't help me financially. And I learned in yeshiva the whole day.
Right.
I didn't do anything else to make money. I couldn't give private lessons. I didn't. So the Rebbe knew that I didn't have any money. So the Rebbe asks me, tell me, did you get money from Germany?
The reparations.
Reparation.
Right.
I never said, the Rebbe never asked me. There's no, yet. Rebbe Tzion, that day, I got a check. I could have gotten a lot of money. Why? I could have said that I have nightmares, fears, I can't sleep. I could have given a big pension. But I've cleared, don't tell lies. I can't tell lies. If they wish wants to give me money, give me the kosher tzilur.
So it would have been a lie. You did not suffer from
Baruch
that.
Hashem, I always had a munah, the Rebbe is with me. So this I'm not speaking you. Always I felt the Rebbe is with me. Let me digress now.
But you didn't want to ever ask the Rebbe about the Holocaust? You didn't want to ask?
Yes, how much I'm entitled to. I was entitled to for so much, so they sent me for $345.
No, I'm saying you didn't want to ask the Rebbe about the Holocaust ever?
I never spoke with the Rebbe. If the Rebbe didn't speak with me about the Holocaust, I never mentioned the Holocaust.
Why not? Why didn't you bring it up?
What should I always in chassidus, in avoide, in those, but not.
I mean, you saw terrible things.
But I never mentioned to the Rebbe.
That's what I'm asking.
I'm sure the Rebbe knew everything about me.
But you never felt like it was something that you needed. You had no questions about it. Nothing that you wanted to bring up to.
Listen, once I wrote to the Rebbe, it came a Chura, and as I told you, I spoke all over the world.
Right.
And also many universities, Yale, Harvard, Columbia, all over the universities. They invited me to speak in United University about the Holocaust. And then the dean of the university, the dean of the Department of Philosophy, the president, and a lot of students, graduate students, explained the Holocaust. How can such a thing happen? So I started to explain it, Abiyasot Hagilgulim. Not the professor, my father was a frum, observant, fine person. They deserve such a misimish, but those should be shot. Yes. And millions of such Yidden, from Yidden. The majority of Yidden were from the Holocaust, were from Yidden in Europe. Not like now. Why? So I explained it Chossid Gilgulim. Sometimes an neshama comes down to rectify what he did before. And it says in the first Beis Medrash, but of the Habal, yes,
Right.
of the Avazor, Chayv Misa. So it says in Kabbalah, in the Kisva Rizal, if a person dies like Kiddush Hashem, that those of the Habal serve the Avodah Zorah several times a day. So the Muslims, morning, for each Avodah Zorah, they bow to the Avodah Zorah, Chayv Misa. Throughout their lives, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of Chayv Misa. Is it possible to give a person Chayv Misa? He comes down. How often can he come down? Yes?
Right.
So what the Eibishter do? That's what the result says. The Eibishter makes a person dies like Kiddush Hashem. A Kiddush Hashem. So Mengele, this takes off all the Chayv Misas. And the Mittler Rebbe in Shara Tshuva quotes also the Rizal. And he says, for this in the Masat Slav, the Even Ezra on many great Goinim, Rishonim, died with the Crusaders, as you know, they killed. Right. Why? They were Gilgulim from Beis Rishon. So I myself expanded this, just like the Mittler Rebbe says, that the from the Rishonim died for Gilgulim. So I said the same thing also, 6 million Jews, innocent, but they paid because they were Gilgulim from Beis Rishon. So then I wrote to the Rebbe, but the Rebbe spoke also about the Holocaust, but for those. But the Rebbe didn't mention Gilgulim. So then I wrote to the Rebbe that I was invited to speak in New York University, in the graduate school, the president in Ganzemeises. And at the beginning of Gilgulim, the Israeli students objected it. Said,
of course.
Be patient. This needs a lot of explanation. The whole thing of Gilgulim, constant explanation. I was invited to speak once for 2 hours. It was also videotaped. Eventually, I spoke 10 lectures for 2 hours. At the end of the 10th lecture, all those students, the Israeli, Apikursim, who didn't accept Gilgulim, got up, accepted it. So I said to the Rebbe that I spoke about it, and Gilgulim, and it was accepted. So I was merames, how come the Rebbe didn't explain this explanation? The Rebbe never gave this explanation. So the Rebbe answered to me, why did they accept it? They believe in Gilgulim. They didn't believe in Gilgulim, but the Rebbe said they believe in Gilgulim. Of course, after I spoke 10 times for 2 hours, they explained to them until they accepted it. Then the Rebbe asked the Kasha, if Yisurim is only because of Gilgulim, the Rebbe asks me, how will I explain this Yisurim for the Alter Rebbe?
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And Neshama Chadosha.
Right.
That's the Rebbe says. This I could have also answered the Rebbe, but I didn't want to answer. In the first one, Bosi Lgani, the Rebbe quotes from Shaya Nun Gimel, right. Tzaddik suffers to alleviate the person. But anyways, so this is the only time that I ever spoke about me about the Holocaust.
So he didn't agree about this.
What?
He didn't agree with the Gilgulim idea.
No, I asked the Rebbe, is it correct? So the Rebbe said, "B'derech klal, yes."
Oh, okay.
But there are exceptions. For the Rebbe says, how come without the Rebbe?
Right. Okay.
And the Rebbe, this was mamash achidush. They're impossible to say during the Holocaust there wasn't one neshama chadosha. I wrote to the Rebbe, if a Torah says, "Rubam kekulam," for the neshamas in our times are gilgulim. That's what the Rebbe says in Torah. So the Rebbe says, "Rubam kekulam," but not everybody. Impossible to say, as there wasn't in the Holocaust one neshama chadosha. So tell me, Ben Zion, who could have been? The Alter Rebbe was awestruck when they told him he's on neshama chadosha. Again, Liebe Omamiri, the Rebbe. The Rebbe. Yes, the Rebbe suffered. Yes, somebody wrote to the Rebbe, Rebbe, how can you speak about the Holocaust? You didn't suffer. I didn't suffer. What happened to my brother and to my children, my whole family perished. And I had to run from back and forth.
Did you feel at the time that the Rebbe was another survivor of the war? Did you see him that way?
No, I didn't feel it. But only say a letter. What the Rebbe says, I'm also a survivor.
Mm-hmm.
But the Rebbe says, impossible to say that during the Holocaust there wasn't an Neshama Chadosha.
You said earlier that around that time you felt that you were now a Lubavitcher. What did that mean at the time? It described to me the world where the world that you grew up in is destroyed, right? You can't go back to that world. Doesn't exist anymore. And now there's this new world that you have to find a place in. What does it mean that you feel like you're Lubavitcher? You feel like you're part of the community? You feel that you have a...
The Iker Lubavitcher felt I have a Rebbe. Before I was on own, I had to make all my decisions, everything which I do on my own. Afterwards, I felt everything, what I have a Rebbe, come up to Rebbe 7 times a year, Verbrengens. Mengele, I have a Rebbe. It says, Asel Chorav, it says in Pirkovos, have a Rebbe. I felt a Rebbe. And let me just tell you, I came up at least 3-4 times a year to the Rebbe, from Tovshin base. And I know many mices, which afterwards, but from Tovshin base, who remembers that very few people are still alive. But anyways, let me just tell you. Once I come into the Rebbe, the Rebbe tells me, learn Torah 5 times. Every week, the whole Seder for the Torah 5 times.
5 times.
And not like say Tilim. Yes, you have to understand every word.
That's a big work.
Yes. And it's not in the Sefer in the Yeshiva.
Not in Seder.
Not in the Sefer Yeshiva. I remember I came up, Parshat Schanan, and went to the Rebbe Yechidus, and the Rebbe asked me, tell me, wie geht es? So the Rebbe, sehr schwer. I had to many times be up to 3-4 o'clock in the morning and make for myself from the Torah a whole pirush on Tanya, took out the pirushim. But anyways, so they were shmechelt. They had to learn through 5 times whole Torah. Afterwards, let me tell you, Chidushim was Avos Mechadesh, Anya Cotton, in Lubavitch.
Okay.
Next year, the Rebbe tells me I should go and chazer chassidus every Shabbos between Mincha and Ma'ariv. Go chazer chassidus.
In Montreal.
In Montreal. Then there was no Lakewood sichos around.
Were you one of the only people who spoke English at the time from your time in England?
I hardly spoke English.
Oh, yeah.
In England, I only learned Limudei Kodesh.
I see. So you didn't speak English.
And I came to Montreal, a student visa. So I had to learn. I finished high school in less than a year.
Where? In England?
England, yes. Rabbi came and gave me a private for trigonometry, English, composition, and history, and trigonometry, and I'm tired, and algebra, all these mices. And Baruch Hashem, I finished it with high marks. So I finished it. But anyways, so then the Rebbe tells me I should go. And next year, the Rebbe asks me, tell me, do you have a seder to learn Likkutei Torah every Shabbos? I learned all kinds of chassidus, Samach Vov, not Likkutei Torah. So I said, Rebbe, no, I don't have a seder to learn Likkutei Torah. A seder. I've learned. However, since you told me last year I should go to chazer chassidus in shul, I don't know what the material. So what I learn schnell a maimer in Likkutei Torah. I take out a kasha, every maimer starts with a gute kasha, right. Then a gute teretz, and I take a teuchen a mishmash. Rebbe Tzion, believe me, my heart was beating. Why? Because Rabbi Gringlas, Peres Mochkin, said, you have to say Divra Rav. Don't say your own words, no Pirushim. You say a Maimer, Divra Rav. Here I make my own Maimer. So, but Rebbe Schmeichel, they're very good. So the Rebbe saw, I don't have a material for what to say, my Morim. 2 weeks later, until then, there wasn't Magia the Siches. Yoel wrote the Siches.
Right.
And there wasn't Magia. Came out, I don't know, because you don't remember, came out a blue page, the title page, and a gray page, a green page, and 4 or 5 pages. After I told the Rebbe was zu sagen, so there was Magia, and because the Rebbe said, just like the Rebbe sent me, most like the Rebbe sent them also. So then the whole Likutei Sichos started from when I told the Rebbe was zu sagen.
You saw a connection there.
Don't you see, for 3 years, the Rebbe didn't do it.
Right.
Suddenly, a week afterwards, the Rebbe said, Magia, yes. And then came your grandfather, started to print them. Then comes all the Likutei Sichos.
The great-grandfather, yeah.
You want to tell you a second thing which came, was after the Mechadish in Lubavitch? By your chassene, did you read the Rebbe's letter?
We did, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
When did it start?
Mm-hmm.
Until Chof Aleph, there was a Masada Kedushin.
Right.
Chof Aleph, there was stopped the Masada Kedushin.
Right.
Masada Kedushin. The whole time, from Tov Sheyut Aleph to Chof Aleph, my mother was in Yerushalayim, I was in Canada. The Rebbe didn't let me go to Eretz Yisrael.
Why not?
Tzorich in Godel. The Beshuma of the Rebbe, I shouldn't go to Eretz Yisrael. My mother begged. I should come. My mother wants to see the child.
Right.
And especially, she didn't see before because of the Holocaust.
So the Rebbe told you not to go?
And the Rebbe, every time the Rebbe says no. Once the Rebbe, my mother wrote a very strong letter to the Rebbe that her mother wants to see. So the Rebbe tells me on Yechidus, you know what? Since your mother is very anxious to see you, heartbroken, you go to London, she would go to London, and meet there, but not in Yerushalayim.
So he didn't want you to go to Eretz Yisrael?
Ich weiß nicht was. Eventually, Chof Aleph, I got married. Elul, I got married. My mother came to the Chassene. We went to the Chassene. My mother tells me she's going to ask the Rebbe for the Rebbe should Masada Kedushin.
Oh, so the wedding was in Crown Heights?
Crown Heights, yes. My wife comes from Crown Heights. She was born here in Crown Heights.
Okay.
So I said to my mother, please don't ask the Rebbe, because the Rebbe can make a difference between one Talmud and another Talmud. The Rebbe stopped, and Bimir, don't ask. But the Rebbe said, but I'm going to ask. I said, Mommy, if you're going to ask the Rebbe, I won't take you in. I won't take you to Yechidus. You won't come with me. She promised me she won't ask the Rebbe. She went to Yechidus. And the Rebbe spoke with my mother a long time. After the Rebbe turned to us, gave us brachas, and we walked out. My mother kept her word. She didn't ask the Rebbe. But as we were by the threshold of the door, my mother goes back. There's her own private Yechidus. When our Yechidus, she promised me she won't. Now it's her own private Yechidus. She barged back and went to the Rebbe and said to the Rebbe, please be Masada Kedushin by my son. So the Rebbe says these words, I would like very much to do it, but how can I make a distinction between one Talmud and another Talmud? Aidi Shemame says, but isn't my son different? Aidi Shemame. So the Rebbe says, I know even more than you know, but how can I make a distinction? However, what will I do? Although I want to be goofy, I come to the chuppah, Beruchi benishmosi. That the Rebbe said. I came, Beruchi benishmosi. But this my mother was happy. I came to the chuppah. I said, I didn't have a part of it with an arrangement. I didn't have anybody. So David Raskin was very close to me, very a good friend. So I asked him, you make arrangement. Here, when go to the chuppah, when go to the mimer, you make arrangement. So then I tell him I'd like the Rebbe's letter. The Rebbe sent to everywhere a letter. I said, I'd like the Rebbe's letter should be read.
That's what you said.
No, yeah. Sagt mir, who should read it? What? Zeg hem, who should read it? Zeg hem, you should read it. And Ben Zion then started, he read it. I can show you a picture. For the chassidus. Then started the second Indian, the Rebbe's letter should be read by the chuppah. But till then it wasn't. It wasn't such a thing. This is the Rebbe's letter. Third one I'll let you for some other time.
So you, one second. So you wanted the letter to be read because the Rebbe said that I'll be a
the Rebbe says I'll be a ruchi ben ishmosi by the chuppah. And tell me, what does the Chazal tell us? Onoichi.
Right.
Anon nafshik sovsi hovis.
Right.
David writes it in the Torah, yes? Arais v'kushbach kulachat. A Torah and David is one. The Rebbe sends a letter and he writes it, yes? The Rebbe puts it in his letter. So the Rebbe is here, Posh Bekashim is also. Then he started this union. See, people don't even know. For 6 months.
No, I Taka never understood how it started. I never knew. I always wanted to know how it started. When it I thought it started many years later.
No.
Started by you.
I can show you the picture.
No, I believe you. I believe you.
The chassid picture.
I always assumed it started years later, but you're saying it started. I thought it started when maybe the Yechidison stopped, but you're saying it started already back then. So you were at that point a bacher in 770, or you were?
I was still a bacher kalocher, a bacher
in 770.
And the Rebbe told me.
No, you were still in Montreal, or you already lived?
No, I always lived in Montreal.
Okay.
But the chassid, I came to New York.
Right.
Then I changed, and the Rebbe knew that I learned. Now let me tell you, I even think of getting married. I wanted to learn.
Right.
I got married when I was 26. I learned. In those days, the Rebbe sent till the Chof Aleph for Anash, also for some Bacherim, Lashon Tevrikat, Lashon Ksivach Teva.
Right.
The Rebbe also sent me always, every year. Every year after the signature, the Rebbe said a postscript, yes, nicht a betzidoi, always something. In Tovshin Chov, the Rebbe writes me, Hagia Zman, she's Anya b'shiduchim. So I said, think about shiduchim.
The Rebbe would send a letter to each individual chassid before Hashanah, or you got it?
Yes, no, to your grandfather, to those. Then wasn't till Chof the one so many chassidim.
Right. Not
like nowadays.
I understand.
Yes. So the Rebbe sent, I don't know everybody, but and for Bacherim also, certain I got every time I got. Yes?
Right.
So the Rebbe says, Sanyan. So then I said to Rabbi Greenglass, the Rebbe told me, tell Shidduch Shatchonim. So I didn't have who should inquire. For you, your parents, these are good Shidduch, those are good Shidduch, the parents do. So I always asked the Rebbe. So the Rebbe negated. Once in 1 week, I got 7 hatzoes, and very good hatzoes, suggestions. So I didn't know what. Usually I would call up the Rebbe. I have this hatzoe, should I be interested in or not? This time 7, so I decided I'm going to come to the Rebbe. And Rebbe Chadakov, every time when I want to go to Chiddes, he always let me in.
Why?
Ask Rebbe Chadakov.
Do you have a...
anyways, every time I came here, I tell you, I'm already Kemaise later.
Okay.
And so I came to went to Yechidus. I showed the Rebbe that settled the 7 mishpoches. And with Sian Choshev mishpoch, gute mishpoches. The Rebbe never had a pen. The Rebbe had a pencil only a pencil. So, negate, one after the other. All 7 the Rebbe was negated. Not for me. Mamish, all 7. So then, not I should go out and no, this for me. Then the Rebbe says, listen, I have for Yatzo, ich have for the Yatzo. I thought there was good Yatzo, Ashidach. No, ich will sonst arbeiten for mir. So the Rebbe says, there is the Lakewood Torah, many mistakes, nichts mehr mekaymes. Same thing, the Shulchan Aruch has all many mistakes. These are Mekomos orders, and I want you should do that. That's what Rebbe gave me. And then, so I started for the Rebbe. So I worked for the Rebbe before I got married, like 2-3 years. And the Rebbe said, I want you should get paid.
From Montreal, you worked?
In Montreal, and I should get paid. And I worked, that's chossid zman, at night, a lot, later, on Torah, and so on.
So the
But I never wanted to take money.
So the Mekomos in the back of the Kutatera is your work?
What?
The Mekomos in the back?
No. Afterwards, I started it, but the Mekomos in Shulchan became very, very heavy, a lot.
Right.
So then we gave the Rebbe later, and then the Rebbe gave to Chitrik. But the Mekomos is me. I give him a lot. In Hilchas Nido and Hilchas Chashem Mishpat, I give him a lot. But anyways, Chevre, Rebbe Tzion. What did I want to say? Then the Rebbe told I want you should get paid. I was brought up von a Rebbe nimmt man nicht, man gibt der Rebbe, Tzedakah, yes, nicht mehr. I did not, although I didn't have any money, I did not take for 3 years working for the Rebbe, hours every day, many hours, and I didn't get paid. I didn't want to get paid. A week before the chassidus, when I went in with my wife, with my mother, so the Rebbe says, please, I want to make a cheshbon. And the Rebbe says as follows. For 3 years, how can you know how many hours? Yes. How much I does? Because for every hour, so the Rebbe says, if you ask more than you are entitled to, Bibli, the Rebbe says, be Mangel for you. If you ask less, you Mangel for us. Can you imagine? I should be Mangel for the Rebbe. That's what the Rebbe said. I should make an estimate, and if I Rebbe saying I didn't. So a week before the chassidus, I didn't ask. I didn't want to take money from the Rebbe. Come the day of the chuppah. The afternoon is the chuppah. I davened shachs with the Rebbe together. And because I wanted the Rebbe should not have to say tachnun, the chossid, that tachnun. And then after davening Chadakav comes over to me, the Rebbe says, you cannot go to the chuppah unless you make a chesh with us. Can you imagine? So, and before the Rebbe said to me, make a nice chassidus on my cheshbon. I'll pay it for the chassidus. Not the chassidus has the music and the videos and the photographers and the flowers, yes. The Rebbe says, I never take a penny for that. The Rebbe said, my cheshbon, make a nice chassidus. I never take a chassidus. We had also, we took the rhymer, the Ehrlich. You remember the Ehrlich you heard?
The composer.
Yes.
Yontev Ehrlich.
Yontev Ehrlich. And it was a beautiful chassidus. But the Rebbe said it should be a beautiful chassidus.
He sang by your chassidus.
He came, yes. But for the Rebbe, I didn't take out 1 penny.
You take 1 penny.
Yeah, but here, the Rebbe said I can't go until I make a cheshbon. What do you think? For 3 weeks, for 3 years working, how much do I in the thousands of dollars. A shliach came to me before. He says, I need money. A shliach. Americans had a chesed fund. Any person from Lubavitch can borrow $200. Don't forget it was $50, $60, $200, like $2,000, yes?
Yeah.
Can borrow $200. Anybody from Americans can make $700. So he comes to me and says, listen, please, I need money. I don't have money. Please, I took already $200. Go to Rabbi Chadakov and borrow, and I'll pay you back. Borrowed for him $700. The shliach never paid me back. I'm Mangel for him. I'm Mangel, bleef shalom. Yes. But, so I said to Rabbi Chadakov, he make my cheshbon, I owe you $700. For 3 years working, $700. Rabbi Chadakov was in 7th world. In the 7th Himmel, weißt, this was the ganze Meise. All right?
What was the story with Rabbi Chadakov you wanted to say? You said, I'm ready to get Meise with Rabbi Chadakov.
Yes, so let me just tell you.
see you soon, Mr. Shem.
Yes,
I'm going now. I'll talk to you.
good.
Okay.
Sehr gesund.
Yes, till 6 o'clock I go, okay. Tell me. The Rebbe sent me several times to Lakewood. Because I do a little bit how to learn. And go to Lakewood and make chassidim. So let me tell you the second time. Bederach klal, the yeshiva of Montreal, before Rosh Hashanah already, from Chai Elul, closed up and came to New York till after Tisha, till after Sukkot. I felt I can daven much better. Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur in Montreal, in New York, pushing ahead with him, we came and daven, and so I always came only for Sukkot. Sometimes I came up for Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur also. But B'derech Klal, I felt Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur was a special, I made in Montreal. I came up for Sukkot. The first day Chalamoid Sukkot, the Rebbe made a big Verbrengen. It's called the Verbrengen von miraculously for the Yeshiva Bachrim. Came from Tervedas, from Mir, from all over, from Berlin, called for Yeshiva. And they made a big Verbrengen. And of course, I was also there already, but the Verbrengen, because I came up for Sukkot. Next morning, Rebbe Chadav calls me over, tells me, the Rebbe saw you about the Verbrengen, and the Rebbe asks you, what does Nissan Mangel do here? He should be in Lakewood. Rebbe Chadav. I wasn't here Rosh Hashanah. I was here Shabbos Shuvah. I was in Yom Kippur. I came for Sukkot. Now the Rebbe sends me away. Sagt er mir, sagt, Nissen, gehst doch mit Verkehr mit den Rebben. Der Rebbe sagt, you have to go to Lakewood. And then he says to me, take Esther Gelulev, also Hashanus. Yeah, for Hashanah Rebbe, it means I have to be whole Chalamoid. I won't be the Rebbe verbringt every night.
Right.
Simcha Beis Sheva.
Right.
So that's what Rebbe said till Hashanus, till Shemar Tzeres, Hashanah Rebbe. So I said I won't be able to get Hashanus in Lakewood, but the Rebbe said I should take Hashanus also. I went to Lakewood, and Rebbe Aaron Kotler was an MSDK for Misnaget gegen the Rebbe. MSDK. Also, Simchas B'Shev was the Chab mit the Rabbanon. She used to come in the Sukkah at 9 o'clock. His son was called Schneer Kotler, and all the Kolachevre, the Bachrim left home, but the Kolachevre who got married lived in Lakewood, so they stayed. So it could have been 50, 60 Kolachevre. So all were in the Sukkah, and also participated and also spoke. After 10 o'clock, Rabbi Aaron Kotler left, Rabbi Kotler left, and then I took over. So I rang for them with the Kolachevre, chassidus, till 5, 6 o'clock every night.
He knew about it?
What?
Rabbi Kotler knew about what you were doing?
Ich weiß nicht. But I was bringing, and Rabbi Aaron Kotler was holding for me, because I spoke with him in learning. I don't know if he knew it, but he was bechabed me.
So he knew who you were?
Yes. I knew it. I was there together with him in the sukkah. And
No,
also
I thought maybe he didn't pay attention to you.
No, he knew. Once after
And you were there with like a Lubavitch hat and everything? Or?
I didn't have a Mashiach.
No.
He looked, yes,
The Lubavitch with the hat that went down.
Yes. And that's so chassidus. He was an almond. Had a room. They gave me a room near him. And one night after Simchas Beis Sheva, what could be 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, I was a little bit tipsy. But you know what tipsy means?
Of course.
Yeah. And by mistake, I went into his room, opened up the door in his room. Where is the? So I said, Nissan Mangel, and I closed the door and I went away. So, but anyways, So they're like this, every night, Chalamoid, so bringing with the Talmidim, with the Kolle Chevre, that in Lakewood. Came Hoshana Rabbe, was happy already, and now, you have to say Dvorim, you have to say Tilim, so will I be able to go to Schlafen? I won't have to verbring. So, at a big Beis Medrash, that in the yeshiva, there waren Kotler, bis der Schneer Kotler, and a couple of Talmud, but discussing that of Hashanas, then I understood they didn't have the Zegelach. Hashanas with Zegel is not so kosher. And so I understood why the Rebbe told me I should take also Hashanas. But anyways, so I said, hold Dvorim. And I was in the middle of Tilim. One was 3/4 finished with Tilim. And I didn't want to go and discuss with him, that's with the ganze Meises, because I wanted to go to Schlafen already. So around 1 o'clock, 1:30, a younger man comes in, nicely dressed, very nicely dressed, and comes over to me, gives me Shalom Aleichem, are you Lubavitcher? I say, yes. Dr. Mir, can I ask you a favor? He what's the favor? Can you come over to my house? So listen, I'm almost finished, like my 3/4, another 50 kapitler. If you can wait until I finish Tilim, then I go over to your house. I come over to your house. I learn in the kollel. I'm a kollel man. And I'd like you to learn with me a perik Tanya. So why couldn't you learn in the the kollel, each one has a private apartment. Why couldn't you learn in Beis Medrash? Did you see Rabban Kotler? He would see it. I learned Tanya, he would throw me out. She asked me I should learn a perik Tanya. I was so sleepy every night. During the daytime, if you sleep, you can't catch up.
Right.
And I went to sleep 5, 6 o'clock every morning, so I was hoping I'd go Schlafen Hoshana Rabbe. He asked me to learn Tanya. Once the Rebbe sent me to Lakewood. I'm going to learn with him Tanya slowly, explain what a nitzus means, what a tzimtzum means.
Which parak did you learn?
I don't remember this. And slowly the parak took at least 45 minutes. I thought, Baruch Hashem, now I can finish and go Schlafen. So can I ask another favor? She said, what? Can you leave with another parak? You can't imagine, mamish mesiras nefesh. I couldn't drink because you don't drink because of sukkah. Right. And my mouth was dry already. And again, I learned with him slowly, because once I'm a shlach with the Rebbe to do this properly. And I learned every word, every line properly. Get another foot. Rebbe Tzion, the second parak. Can I ask you another favor?
I think I know where this is going.
Another third. Soon he dismoided Kemaisi. So he says, can I can ask you another favor a third time? But this time was already Alos HaShachar. Can you imagine? Alos HaShachar was a day already. Then, if he finished, he says, let me tell you why I asked you to learn 3 parak of Tanya. I'm a Talmud Mufek of Rabbi Kotler. I'm already 29, 23, 30 years old. I couldn't find a shidduch. I asked Rabbi Kotler for a broche. He gave me a broche, it didn't work. I went to this one, to Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, to all the Gdolim in America. It didn't work. I went to the Gdolim in Eretz Israel. All the Gdolim, the Rebbe, Tzadikim in Eretz Israel. Didn't work. So well, I had no brere. I know I'm Talmud moved for Rabbi Kotler, but I went to Lubavitch Rebbe. And I asked the Rebbe for a broche. So the Rebbe told me, learn every day a perik Tanya, and soon you become a chossid. Today I became a chossid, Hoshana Rabbe. That's why I talked of appreciation for the Rebbe. So I wanted to learn 3 parak of Tanya. Can you imagine? The Rebbe sent me, and then he asks me, tell me, when are you going back? Yeah, can you ask another favor? Says, Rabboni Shalom. Says, no, when are you going back? Says, Hoshana Rabbe, so I locked off Slichas, Hashanas, I'll go back tomorrow afternoon. To Hashanas, I'll eat here in Lakewood in the yeshiva, and I take a bus. That can I give a letter to you, with you to the Rebbe? By all means. So he gave me, in the davening, gave me a letter, I should take to the Rebbe. I took a Greyhound bus. I arrived maybe a half an hour before the Shkia. So I ran fast to Rabbi Chadakov, gave him the letter, and then went to the mikveh. And Motze Simchas Torah, the day after Simchas Torah, I went to Yechidus. Rebbe Zion, I just opened the door. The Rebbe saw me, a smile like a mile long. And the Rebbe asked me, wasn't afraid to tell you to learn chassidus with him? So, because the Rebbe, yes, the Rebbe, he was afraid, that's why I told him this. But the Rebbe was so besimcha, and the bracha became fulfilled. If you want another inyan from Lakewood, another.
So the Rebbe said, was he afraid that you should learn chassidus with him?
The Rebbe asked me, he wasn't afraid, because he must have written in a letter that I learned with him chassidus, Tanya.
Wasn't he afraid?
So the Rebbe asked me, wasn't he afraid to learn Tanya?
Right.
Because he didn't write it, he went in his apartment, not in his, you know. So I said to the Rebbe, yes, he was very much afraid, because Aaron Kotter was there. The smile from the Rebbe.
Did you at the time, because what's so interesting about these stories is that you're going back to the time right after the war, and Lubavitch is a very small group. They're sending these individual letters before Rosh Hashanah. Lakewood is the small, right? Because you said there's 50, 60 people in the kollel. Today they have 5,000. Who knows? And it's almost like, what's the expression in the pasuk? The whole Achashverosh tells Esther, the whole land is in front of you. There's, on one hand, the community is so small, but the future is not defined.
So let me tell you,
Okay.
which I heard Tuf Yud Beis. I don't know if he heard it from me, because I mentioned it also, but I mentioned it now. There was a Satmer younger man. And in those days, Satmer had a Beis Medrash here. The men, not only Bobby were here,
Sure.
So the only Rebbe, who became a Rebbe in the United States, is our Rebbe.
Right.
All our Rebbes came from Europe.
In those days.
The Beyane Rebbe, the Bobby Rebbe, the Friedrich Rebbe, all came from Rebbe.
You're saying in those days.
Yeah. And the only one who's newly minted a Rebbe was only our Rebbe. So this Satmarer, younger man, was curious. How does a Rebbe, which made in America, is a genuine Rebbe? Or that's wishy-washy? What kind of Rebbe? So he decided he's going to come to Crown Heights. He had a family here in Crown Heights. And next to it, let's say, let's see. Right. He decided he's going to come Friday night to talk about the Rebbe. There's the Toshim at base, just a year after the, and see what kind of Rebbes are made in America, made in USA.
Right.
In those days, when the Rebbe, just a few months after the Rebbe became a Rebbe, that the Rebbe didn't even a chair. After the Rebbe, a nice chair, yes?
Right.
Yes.
Sure.
When the Rebbe came into Davon for Mincha, where did he sit? On the bench for the Bacharim. He didn't have a chair.
I didn't even have a chair during davening.
He sat on the bench with the Bacharim were learning. And always a Rebbe comes in with the whole entourage.
Right.
Later, the Rebbe came in with Rabbi Chadakov, with Yom Klein, Rebbe Groner, and Yudel. He came alone.
Right.
But then, Rebbe comes in Satmer. He there comes alone,
right.
Where they sit on a bench.
Also just
schmeckt nicht mit der Rebbe.
Just a hat, yeah.
Yeah, wait, with the hat, wait. This is a different Meise.
Okay.
This is a third Meise.
Okay, we'll get to it.
But here, it says, it's not a genuine, authentic Rebbe. So I thought to himself, maybe it's only by Mincha. Came to Meirev, Kabbalah Shabbos, it will be more Eishmer Kachasas. It will be more with fire, the thunder does. Came to the Meirev, the same thing also, the Rebbe came in, the Rebbe touched the paroiches, and sat down on a bench, push with the Bochum learn. And the whole daven is gonish mit gonisht. Nothing. So he decided what he wanted to see. He saw already. He's not a genuine Rebbe. It's made in America. He's a message Rebbe. He won't come tomorrow anymore. Fartik has what he wanted to see. He saw already. And he says, not a message Rebbe. He went back to his uncle and aunt for Suda Shabbos. Suda Shabbos, Mave Sedre, and went to sleep. Middle of the sleep, has a cholem, a chizoyan, a vision. The Friedrich ever stands over him as he sleeps. Al tigu b'mishichoi. Don't degrade, don't look down, don't touch. Mishichoi, the Rebbe called him Mishichoi. Yes? Al tigu b'mishichoi. And he woke up and he saw the Rebbe was very stern, very serious. And he got up, so that he was enveloped in sweat from the fear. He decided he's going to come back tomorrow, to daven in 7:70. So remember, when you come in upstairs, there's the door, and opposite the windows.
Right.
Yes?
Sure.
He stood by the window. This Salman Jungerman stood by the window.
And the Rebbe sat by the door, yeah.
And the Rebbe came in. Usually the Rebbe would come in, go to the Orla Kodesh. This time with the Rebbe, after he had the dream, he came back Shabbos again. So the Rebbe came in. The Rebbe noticed him standing by the window. The Rebbe went over to him and says quietly, Chaloimes, don't listen to Chaloimes. Chaloimes shav yadaberu. Chaloimes have no meanings. Can you imagine the Ruach HaKodesh? The Rebbe knew his Cholem. And he says, don't pay attention. The Rebbe said, Mashiach, Atigu Mashiachoi. So the Rebbe said, don't pay attention to Chalamas. Chalamas, the Gemara says, it's a posting in does. Chalamas shav yadaber. Chalamas mean nothing, meaningless. And then he saw who the Rebbe is. Can you imagine this?
He told you the story.
This story, not he thought, I wasn't there, but I heard it from somebody heard it from him.
Wow. So at the time, did you sense that there was a whole shaila of where things were going? In terms of it's after the war. Everything from the past is gone, basically. And now there's a chance to build a new dair, a new world here in America, which up to a few years earlier.
Let me tell you, but Noach, it says 3 times the word Noach. Noach is tzadik hoyo is. So Chazal tells about Noach. He saw 3 worlds. The world before the flood,
right?
The flood, after the flood. We can see also like this. The world before the Holocaust, and after the Holocaust. We also saw 3 different worlds. And if not the Rebbe, without any doubt, 99% of Yiddishkeit would be now assimilated, intermarried. Who stamped this assimilation? Who checked it? Who stopped it? The Rebbe mit Shluchim.
But did you feel that at the time? Because you're telling me all these...
No.
What did you feel?
Now honestly, a Rebbe with Ruach HaKodesh. Rebbe HaTzadik.
But what did you feel at the time when the Rebbe sends you to Lakewood to sit in the bus and go and sit in Lakewood in the sukkah every night and to fabring and to learn?
I saw the Nissim, the Rebbe foresees what a Hishlech will be to accomplish.
But what did you think you were accomplishing is my question. What was the goal?
The Shas didn't know. Afterwards, just take... The Rebbe said, learn a Perik Tanya.
Right.
And became a chossid, yes?
Right.
So afterwards I realized how the Rebbe, the nest from the Rebbe, the broch from the Rebbe, how it worked. Do you want to hear another mice from Lakewood?
Sure.
Another time. Tell me, how much time do we have?
As long as you can go.
Yeah. We stop, 15, 20 minutes we stop, okay? The Rebbe sent me several times to Lakewood. Once, I made a whole group to learn chassid. I learned with them chassidus. Then I learned, they should continue learning chassidus. And one person became particularly close. He was still a Talmud from Aram Kotler, but came a little bit close the Rebbe. So Lubavitch was open-minded, at least, open-minded. I said, I wanted very much he should come to the Rebbe. I was in Montreal, and he went to Lakewood. So I was telling me, why do you come from Lakewood, take a bus, come to Verbring Shabbos Vorchim or the Yubista? He never wanted to go. Once I had to come to the Rebbe for a chassidus. So I sent him a postcard. It was a 56-year-old before the internet, for smartphones. And I sent him a postcard. I'm coming for Shabbos Vorchim. I'm coming to New York. Why don't you come also join me? So he came. And arranged where to stay with me together, stayed by the Rabbi Groner, the old Rabbi Groner for Shabbos. And he enjoyed very much the Verbringen. And next month, I told you, Rabbi Chadakov always let me in whenever I wanted to come in. The chassidus always let me in. So this time I went to Rabbi Chadakov Sunday morning. After davening, I tell him, listen, I'd like to go to chassidus. So he tells me, don't you know tonight is the Rosh Chodesh? Rosh Chodesh is no chassidus. So how can you go to chassidus? So I said, okay, for me, I can be Mangel. But I bought this bocher, a top-notch bocher from Lakewood. And what will you think? That I bluffed. I wanted he should come to the Verbringen. I told him, chassidus. So tell me, what can I do? There's no chassidus. So I tell him, Rabbi Chadakov, where is the Chodesh after Tzesek Chovim? Let us in before, in the afternoon. And there's never chassidus. So tell me, big eyes. Listen, die wirst machen nice Dorim in Lubavitch, because chassidus afternoon. But they was geblieben. Several times I went in Tag afternoon. Several times, but listen, several times. But anyways, but they was geblieben. So I tell him, I apologize. He said, listen, I made a mistake. I didn't realize that the Chodesh is Sunday night. So Mengele, I'm sorry. And he bought a ticket to go back because I had gone to chassidus, Sunday night, 10 o'clock, go back to Lakewood. So I had to stay in New York Sunday. So we learned chassidus in the morning, in the afternoon. Then I started to learn with him Tanya. I learned Tanya, and I saw he was very much impressed, inspired with Tanya. Then suddenly he blurts out, he says, tell me, is Tanya Teure? Can't you learn what I mean? Can't you learn Torah? You mustn't learn without Birchas HaTorah first. First, there's the Birchas HaTorah. If you don't say Birchas, you must learn Torah. Can't you learn like a newspaper? You can read it. It was about Sipuri Baba Maises. So then I lashed out at him. You know what Tanya is? Primus HaTorah, Nisham Sadrayat, Ikech HaTorah, Torah Chadosho. I spent a great length, over an hour. What is the Primus HaTorah? Rosel Reis, Rose de Rosin. And it came like 7 o'clock. Rabbi Chav comes over to us. There was he can go in. Now he says cannot, but he must have asked the Rebbe. There was he can go in. So I tell him, listen, I write that settle. When I go into the Rebbe, you just go in and speak. You go in while you speak with the Rebbe. I write my settle. He went in, and about shidduchim and all kinds of what should he do, and afterwards, all kinds of childless. But comes out, red, his face, like burrikas, like beets. I was frightened. What goes on? What happened? So I tell him, Zarchi, what happened? He said, I can't speak. And of course I couldn't speak. I went in. And I asked my shilas. I finished my shilas. I asked the Rebbe. Yeah, the Rebbe asked me, tell me, what is he going to do now? So I tell him, 10 o'clock he's going to go back to Lakewood. So the Rebbe says, with David Raskin, every Rosh Chodesh, in those days, made a verbrengen for the Bocher. There was so many Bocher, 50, 60, and made a verbrengen. So the Rebbe says, see to it, he should stay by the verbrengen. He said, ich weiß mit dem Dutze quetschen. Ich sage, sehr gute Sache. Bei verbrengen mit Quetsch, sehr gute Sache. Very good. So I came out. I tell him, please stay by Verbrengen, and you go again later. I persuaded him, and he stayed. Switched. Then I asked him, tell me what happened. What happened that you became so red? So he said, after I asked all my questions, the Rebbe told me I should learn every day in the morning a Perik Tanya, and I should know Tanya is Primus HaTorah. You must learn Tanya before Birchas HaTorah, because I learned it. And started to explain Tanya is Primus HaTorah, Rosa de Reise, Ikar HaTorah, Torah Chadosha, and says, Mama, she felt the Rebbe heard every word which you said, and then I repeated it. So he said, Mamish Ruach HaKodesh. Mamish Ruach HaKodesh. Eventually got married. And I made for him Asher Brachas. We were very good friends then. In Montreal, he got married in Montreal. I asked the cook in the kitchen, make a cook that I prepare much for bring, and then Asher Brachas. Then he said, gets up, he says, Nissen, I want you to repeat what the Rebbe told you. As you should stay by the Verbrengen. It's a good question. You said, yes, my big in the Rebbe does. But as I said, it helped me a lot. I became at least close to the Rebbe. This is. All right? So again, the Rebbe, again, the Ruach HaKodesh, which the Rebbe repeated, and the Rebbe said, learning a Perik Tanya, and Tanya is Rosa de Reise.
That's why you were so loyal to Lubavitch, because of the Ruach HaKodesh?
No.
Or
I
because
was loyal to Lubavitch because I became a Lubavitcher, just like you loyal to Lubavitch. I also became loyal.
No, I was born into
Yes.
a Lubavitcher family.
Yes. You know what the Alter Rebbe says? The Rebbe says, the biggest chassidim gewonnene chassidim. The Alter Rebbe didn't have one chossid a geborrener. Or gewonnener.
No,
The gewonnener are better. I don't say myself.
That's what I'm asking. That's what
Yes.
I'm asking. At the time, did you at all feel that the Lubavitcher Rebbe had a different vision for the world?
The Rebbe knew that Tzaddik Ador, what's the Rebbe, Rosh Bnei Israel.
Right.
Every door there's a Moshe Rabbeinu. This is Moshe. This I became so.
So you felt that already at the time?
Yes.
And eventually you moved here and you worked on the Siddur, yeah?
The Siddur also, yes. Let me tell you, in conclusion,
Sure.
another moifus for the Rebbe. I don't know how old was I, 18, 19. I went to Yechidus, and the Rebbe asks me if I put on Ramatam's tefillin. I said to the Rebbe, no. Why not? Because nobody puts on tefillin. Tell me, when did you start putting a gartel? When did you start putting a talis? After the chassid.
Right.
In those days, we put on also Ramtam's tefillin only after the chassid.
Right.
So they were so, why not? So he asked the Rebbe, Rebbe holds I should put on Ramtam's tefillin. So the Rebbe sicher. I come back to Montreal. So I told you before, I didn't have any money. So I tell Rabbi Ginglas, not my initiative, it's the Rebbe's, she put on Ramatam's tefillin. So Rabbi Ginglas tells me, there was a Batemacher, it's called Schwartz, an ardent Satmer chossid, a foe against Lubavitch. He's a Batemacher, go order by a pair of tefillin. And in the meantime, I have an extra pair of tefillin, Rabbi Tam's tefillin. I give you my Rabbi Tam's tefillin. And order for him my Rabbi Tam's tefillin. I went to him and ordered my tefillin. The Rebbe said to Rabbi Kramer, he wants the Bochrim in Montreal should also have exercise. The Bochrim should have Hitamlut. Rambam says,
Right.
So the Rabbi arranged with the YMHA in Montreal, swimming, basketball in YMHA, and ping pong, all that. I, instead of going swimming or basketball, those, I went to him to see the progress of how the tefillin are being made. And he was mamish as a son of Lubavitch. He called the Rebbe a student, college student, a Zionist, Kvar Chabad, with a modern, gefährlich. Sagt and always spoke, and I said the Rebbe is a tzaddik, Elyo and tzaddik Kodesh. Always every Friday, as I wanted to see how the tefillin is made, and every had the sisuchim. One Friday when I come to him, says that Rabbi Nissan, I'm becoming a Lubavitcher chossid. Say, what happened? You were a Zionist, a college student. Yes. Sagt mir, Rabbi Yoelish, the Satmar Rebbe, his Rebbe, went to Toronto. All the Satmar went to Toronto from Montreal. But then my family is called a Tish. It's called a Tish. So as if of a bringing, in the middle of the Tish, he says as follows. Some of my Talmidim last year went to Houston. Those go back 50, 60 years, not like now. Completely free, a precursor, nothing, only a reform, wasn't conservative, completely free. Went to Houston because the real estate was very good, business, and oil was very good, and became very successful. But they wanted to have Satmar Shchita. And so their parents sent every week a package of Satmar Shchita. After a year, it was very difficult for them, so they came to the Satmar. This is what he says about the Tish, which he repeats to me. He says he should send a sheikh to Houston. They are going to provide him with parnosa very, very generously, parnosa berevach. As long as they should have Satmar Shchita. So Satmar said, what do you think? What did I do? What did I say? What was the reaction? I will not send, because you need flesh. I should endanger the neshama, the nefesh of my Talmud. At the beginning, you have the pairs outside. Eventually, put the pairs behind. Some people say we're going to shimmed off the street. Eventually, cut it and set the streimel until we go to medechi al dechi. So I will not endanger the neshama of my Talmud for unit flesh. This idol Lubavitcher does it. And not only that, the Talmidim don't become, the Shulchan don't become Kale, they bring over the horse of Barachuvas. He says, but the Lubavitcher can do, I cannot do. Can you hear? The Satan was mechulik, machlekes, in the Munkacher, against the Rebbe, against the Gerre, against the Belzer. Von the Rebbe has the Tachlis HaKovet. He says, what the Lubavitcher can do, kann ich nicht tun. He says, when I heard such a thing, so I have to become a Lubavitcher chossid. Yes. But said he didn't become a Lubavitcher chossid, but the venom went away. But I skipped something before. Before, the Sirsuchim, why have the Sirsuchim come see the Rebbe? You have a family in Williamsburg, come to Williamsburg and see, come. Says, I'll do it. It was a for Yud and the Verbringen was Thursday night. So he says, in Church Avenue, there wasn't all the rent out. At the beginning, had a rent a hall. So they entered in Church Avenue. So I tell him the Verbringen begins 8 o'clock. He says he cannot come 8 o'clock because his family eats until he comes. He comes 9 o'clock. I say, okay, I'll start by the door. I stand by the door, and I'll take you to the Rebbe. I was standing near the Rebbe. So I came 9 o'clock. I went out from my place, stood by the door, 10 after 9, 15 after 9, half 9. So I yelled, Anenu. So I thought he changed his mind. He doesn't want to come to a Zionist, doesn't come to a college student. So next Friday, I come back again to see the progress of the tefillin. So I tell him, how come you didn't give your word? You told me I come. So Rabbi Nissan, I came, but I was delayed. I came 10 o'clock instead of 9 o'clock. I was delayed. And such a horde of people, the Rebbe was speaking, such a horde of people, I couldn't push myself to see the Rebbe. As long as I heard the Rebbe speak, I thought, this Malach Hashem's voice is speaking. Afterwards, when the Rebbe stopped speaking, I pushed myself to see the Rebbe, say L'chaim. I saw the Rebbe with his modern hat, with head down. I could look at it, I ran back, and I ran back to Williamsburg. This was in the middle. And we can continue fighting. Afterwards, I'm sent with this. Then with Yiddish, then it changed the race of what the Rebbe can do. Then now let me tell you, it's no wonder a Satmer who's used to a Beckische, mit a Streimelhit, mit a Biberhit, yes, just imagine, if I would tell you, go now to Borough Park, is a Rebbe, with that, what kind of shirt, I'm blazing, how you call it, the t-shirt, how's it called? A t-shirt?
Right.
Yes, and jeans and sneakers. What would you say?
Right.
Also turn you off.
Right.
For him, from their background, a Rebbe goes with a modern hat, is not. But after he changes his mind when the budget says. Okay?
What would you say are you the most, looking back after this is already, what is it, 50 no.
Yes.
70 years from the time that you're talking about now. It's 70 years already. What would you say is the most surprising thing, looking back?
Let me tell you.
What are you most surprised by?
But Rebbe, our Rebbe, had so many accomplishments. So many accomplishments. Lakewood Siches, whole chassidus in the Kote. You must not recognize the Moridike Lomdes, Geoines in Lakewood Siches. The Mamorim. Mislagim dalan sen Lakewood Siches, the Mamorim. Moridike Mamorim. Rabbi Yoel Khan says Mamorim, deep Mamorim. The Rebbe gave out igros, aids, advice in every area. Yes, Rebbe. The Rebbe gave out dollars and broches. Yes.
Right.
And the Rebbe made shluchim, which is the biggest accomplishment, the biggest legacy of the Rebbe. Look at the siches, the igros, the maimorim, chevre, achven betzion, shluchim. But this the Rebbe saved Am Yisrael from assimilation. This is the Rebbe's, the MSDK Rebbe's legacy is manifold, many things. What the Rebbe accomplished, like you father, how many batchus did you make? If not intermarriage. And in Holland, I can tell you, my Mandy, my son who came here.
Sure,
yes.
sure.
A ponytail came, a complete Mechal Shabbos.
Right.
That was a capote with a gartel, the black hat. And his son is the shliach.
Right.
This is the Rebbe's biggest accomplishment. Now they're looking back. What did the Rebbe in his life, what did he accomplish? A lot. But what is the Ikar Shebeikrim? As Rambam says, Ikar Shebeikrim, Leid HaSheshem, Ikar Shebeikrim for Shluchim.
But does it surprise you looking back? Did you expect for it to turn out the way it did?
When the Rebbe Gimel Tammuz, there were 500, 600 Shluchim. Now, there are close to 6,000 Shluchim. Odom Eitz Hadas. Odom Eitz Achayim.
Right.
Why is a person called it Eitz? Eitz either it grows or withers away. Lubavitch keeps on going. Even the Misnagdim, the Satmares, and the Lakewood, the highest respect for the Rebbe and go to oil. Right. Always you find Orton. Satmar Chassidim, Bobber Chassidim.
But did you think this would happen back then when you were younger? Did you expect this to happen?
No. You never know.
What did you think was going to happen?
I know the Rebbe is a Baal Moifes, Rosh Ben Israel, and I hoped the Rebbe said, Hagias Mangel Aschem. Let me tell you, I'd like to finish with this.
Sure.
When my oldest son, Eliezer, Olav Shalom, when he was 3 years old, I took him into Yechidus for Opsherenish. The Rebbe asked him, do you know Shema Yisrael? He says, yes. The Rebbe asked him, will you tell it to me? Will you say it? No. They said, no, I won't say it. So the Rebbe is asking him, if I give you $1, will you say it? He said, yes. So the Rebbe says, say Shema Yisrael, I'm going to give you $1. He said, Shema Yisrael, all the way to the, not only Shema Yisrael, Shem Echad, all till the end, but the Rebbe noticed he didn't put his hand on his face. So the Rebbe started to speak maybe the important, when you say Shema Yisrael, you put his hand on the face. And the Rebbe started to explain to me. Then the Rebbe stopped. The Rebbe says to me, ich habe ihm zugesagt, $1. Man sagt zu einem Kind, darf man halten Wort. The Rebbe apologized, he stopped speaking with me. Man sagt zu einem Kind, darf man halten Wort. Then he went up at his drawer and gave him a silver $1. And we still have the silver $1. What do I say? Now, of course, Eliezer told me, asked him, says, yes, when you go schlafen in the morning, but during the daytime is yes. But anyways, what did the Rebbe say? Man sagt zu einem Kind, darf man halten Wort. Yes? What did the Rebbe say? We are the kind of the Rebbe. We are the kind of the Rebbe. Hagies Mangelaschem. We are the last door von Goles. The first door von Gule. Rebbe, das zugesagt, das mir gesagt. Aber sagt zu etwas, ein Kind, aber halt ein Wort. Rebbe, halt Wort. Chutzpah, how can I tell to the Rebbe? The Rebbe wants to told me, if you have a good idea, tell me. I should tell the Rebbe good ideas. But that's not tell me. Rebbe, a good idea. Hagies Mangelaschem und Rebbe hat zugesagt, halt Wort. Okay?
On that note, a big ashikech. Thank you very much again for making the time. Thank you to your grandson for arranging it, and appreciate it very much. Thank you.